Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 20th episode of the LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed edition of the Escape Pod cast. And this is the finale. This is the finale of Season 1. Because Season 2, this is 20 episodes. 20 episodes. We do the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes edition on the for 30 episodes per season. We're going to be doing LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed for 20 episodes because I think that fits in the way that they're going to be. We're supposed to get a Q&A next week.
Yes.
And that's going to be all about space. We're it's best time to roll over a season, and it's always fun to have a guest on for a season finale. Stay tuned because we'll be talking to VintageX of The Breakdown in our season finale today.
Yes,
so
very, very exciting.
For those that weren't here before I started, this episode is dedicated to my son. My son was involved in an accident. Just got news just before we went on, but the show must go on. If it was absolutely 100% life-threatening, I would not be here. There's nothing that I can do from 1,337 miles away. So, the show must go on. We will do this, and I will then go check on him. But my son is fine. This episode is dedicated to my son, Gavin Stanley. Dad loves you, Gavin. All right. All right. So, we are. Let me start up these videos that you sent over. Looks like you're doing the Slimer event in this first video that's going to be playing here. Yep, I got to play the Slimer event too. I got through 3 phases. That's as far as I got because I don't have them. I don't have the set at 4 stars. I almost have Egon and Winston at 4 stars. I think I got Winston at 4 stars and Egon at 3, and he's about to go to 4, or vice versa. I'm sorry.
Right.
But it's
it's a great place to be at. That way, I mean, for sure next time the event comes around, you're getting him.
Yeah, well,
it's awesome. It's a good spot to be at.
As long as I can farm them outside of the event, without having to buy all that energy. That is one thing that I am not a fan of on these brick pace events. These brick pace events are, I missed Yeti the second time around. I'm probably going to miss Tierney the second time around. We do what we can. I think they need to make the tiles a little easier to get a hold of because there's still the gear grind. There's a little too much grind in my opinion, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the characters. I'm grateful for the event. I'm not a fan of the style of the event, but it is what it is. This is their game. This is how they do it. We're used to something totally different.
Right.
So, I don't think I'm going to be able to unlock them by 10 a.m. tomorrow. It is what it is. But, I'm now seeing. Let's see here. You're going. You let us see the dialogue. Thank you, Llama. We appreciate that.
I try, yeah. Because the story is super fun, so I want to make sure that everybody can see it.
Okay, so now you're going on to the second tier. Do we want to spoil it, or do you want to talk about your experience with it and your thoughts on it?
I think that I liked the event. I thought that it was a better difficulty than events in the past. I only had to try it twice. I failed the first time, got it the second time. So compared to, Woo or, Yeah, Wu's really the only one that...
So you got Slimer.
I did.
All right, so we do have somebody that has Slimer on the show. That's a good thing.
Yes. Yes.
What do I want to know the price tag?
No. Definitely not. Let's just say all of those energy bundles are gone. Many crystals. Many crystals. Gone.
Let's put it in this perspective, okay? So for the first 5 days of the event, I simmed both Egon and Winston's node 40 times per day. So that's 3 refreshes.
Yes.
Each. Did you ever beat the Ecto 1?
Yes.
You beat that node?
Yes. Yeah. So I completed the Brick Pace event.
I'm still struggling with Ray's last node. Even though Abo said that I could get it, I still struggle with Ray's last node.
Yeah. So I beat the event, and I actually used Bricko put out a guide on how to beat that last node in the Brick Pace event, and I actually used his guide. It was super, super helpful.
All right, well, props to Bricko. Thank you for helping, helping the llama here get her last node done.
Yeah.
So every single node is done.
Yeah. And they're all gold.
What's your Ecto 1 at?
5 stars.
So it's at 5. It's still at 5.
Yeah, because we can't go past 5.
Okay. Can you still play? Can you still go back now that you have Slimer? Can you still go back and do the other event?
What other event?
The Ghosts and Garmadon? Are you still able to get tiles?
I can do part 1. Yeah, I can do part 1. I can do the Brick Pace event, yeah.
Okay, because...
So since I got Slimer, I've just been going and simming each node, like, fully, each of the Winston and the Egon nodes fully, so I'm not doing any refreshes on that. I have to buy a bunch of energy, but using crystals, but...
That is one very, very steep price tag and very worrying. I do want to, let me ask you the same question that I would ask my best friend if they were doing this. Could you have afforded that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Because
I would have heeded my own warning from last week. That's something that I take very, very seriously. So I'm never going to, do stupid things.
All right.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm never going to not do stupid things. You guys will probably witness me doing many stupid things, but disastrous type things. I'm not going to put myself into that position.
Excellent. And that's all we ask, and that's what we remind people that play these free to play, but pay to get things early kind of games. Yes. It's not necessarily pay to win.
No.
Because Slimer, this Ghostbuster team can get taken down.
Yes. Fairly easily, I would say, with pirates. They say it's like 50-50 with pirates, but I found that I don't win very often.
So what? I'm guessing that you are climbing to the top of your shard now.
No.
No,
they're not meta changing. They're really not. I've used them to finish Glyph Hunt, so I'm completely finished with Glyph Hunt now.
I've been finished with Glyph Hunt for a while.
Well,
that's because I like space.
Yes. Yeah, I've been stuck on the last Ninjago node, so I use them for that. I also use them for a couple of the challenges to get a little higher on the challenges. Super helpful. But yeah, they're really not. You won't find them in Arena at least not a full Ghostbusters team in Arena. They're just not that kind of, a big deal.
Are you happy with it though? Are you happy with this group?
Yeah, I am. I think that they're very useful. They're super helpful in Brickspedition, especially once you get to like the later part of the week, where you're doing map 6, map 7. Ninjago comes up all the time, and it's nice to be able to put that team in and kind of hit auto and just let it go and not really have to think about it, because they do a great job.
Are you seeing... So my question, I guess, would be, are you starting to see Ghostbusters in your own Brickspedition?
No, I haven't seen a single Ghostbusters team yet.
All right. Because that would really suck if the Ghostbusters were on a spooky Ninjago node.
No, I haven't seen them in Brickspedition yet, no.
All right. We do know that we have the Q&A coming up next week, as we mentioned. That's going to be space themed from what they've told us. Will is on a vacation this week, but he will be back next week for that. We're hoping that we will have news regarding a content creator program.
We'd better have news next week about the content creator program, because he told us last week before he went on vacation that he heard back from Lego and he was getting ready to send DMs out to people. I haven't gotten one, so I better get one when he comes back.
All right.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed Monday morning.
Well, I don't know if he has internet or if he's watching this broadcast as we speak, but certainly it'd be interesting to see if you get your DM Monday morning.
Oh, I hope so. I will. You will be the first to know, that's for sure.
Overall, this was a different style of brick pace event. 2 unbox and 2 brick pace. And a tiered brick pace nonetheless. You advanced before you completed, but you couldn't complete if you didn't advance.
Yeah.
If they do this again, what changes do you think that you would make?
Or
none. None is an acceptable answer.
I think that this event was styled better. Like, it was nice to be able to go and at least start working on Egon, even if you didn't have, Winston finish. That was nice. I liked that. I think that there was way, way, way too much of a paywall.
I agree.
Like, way too high.
Especially for an IP, a brand new IP. As we mentioned last week that we were not a fan, and we worried about the way that they priced that gigantic pack, or the gear packs, and then the gigantic pack came out. The what was it? $75 for 25 shards of each.
Yeah.
And that as well.
But see, that was better than the individual packs that they were doing, because you could buy individual. It was like 15 shards of each for $15 each. So that was like $1 a shard. Like, at least with the $75 pack, you got more than that. Wasn't much more.
Wasn't much more. Yeah. With the draw of this game towards the younger audience, because it is Lego, I really, really want them to take a look at exactly how they do it. Because we don't want backlash on this game. I see it almost every single time that they post something on Facebook, they get naysayers. But by the time that I'm a Fallout 76 fan as well, and there's a lot of naysayers about Fallout 76.
There's a lot of naysayers.
Oh, there's the Slimer unlock right there.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, so there's a lot of naysayers about every game, right? Like, you're gonna get them. Lord knows we have them in Swaga. There's that, they're there in literally every single game. What worries me is the amount of kickback and the questionable decisions this early in the game, especially with an IP as big as this one. Because I guarantee you there are people that are coming into this game for Ghostbusters and staying because it's Lego and Lego is fun.
They did a whole Instagram, Snapchat, whatever. I think it was Instagram. A whole Instagram marketing effort that they had Ghostbusters coming to this game.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I really, really just want to see it flourish, because this game deserves it.
Yeah. I understand wanting to bring income into the game and get your claws in whales and things like that and get yourself some Krakens. But, like, I don't think that the first major outside IP was the time to push this paywall as hard as they did.
Guys, I'm going to take a quick break here. I don't think that you've been coming through this entire time. I just noticed that the meter on your volume wasn't going through.
It was just super quiet.
Okay, well, I now have you turned up. I'm going to have to go into this post-edit and take care of it.
Okay.
Great.
Sorry.
My mind has been elsewhere at the beginning of the show. My apologies.
It's okay.
So, all right.
That's a shame. I was making some really good points.
You were making some really good points, and I will fix it so all those good points do come
That's okay.
across.
It's all right. It happens. Not a big deal. We'll fix it. But as I was saying, I just don't think that their first major IP was the, like, time for them to, kind of throw this kind of paywall in there. I think that it should have been super accessible. I think that, because,
Peter
like I said,
and Ray were super accessible,
but, like, the rest of them weren't. So, like, what is confusing to me is, like, when we were doing the Ghostbusters Q&A, what did, like, the developers say? They said that they wanted to see, quote unquote, as many Ghostbusters in people's hands as possible. And, like, I don't feel like this whole, like, event really reflected that sentiment.
And they did give us the Ecto 1, but they gave it to us at 1 star.
1 star.
And that 1 star has one ability that doesn't even really help Ghostbusters as a whole.
Yeah.
That was concerning. But I am going to say this. They did a good job. The way that they needed to do this, and it was a big push in... Let's use Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, for example. It was a big push when they brought in the Phoenix Squadron from Rebels. A lot of people downloaded the game because of the Phoenix Squadron. And they did the marquees nearly back to back to back. And the marquees are like the Unboxed event. But I don't know.
I don't either.
I want them to succeed.
I do as well. We all do. And that's one thing that I really want to say is like, we as content creators, we all want this game to succeed because we enjoy playing it. We make content on it for a reason. Like, no one makes content on something that they don't like, right? Like, that's just not a thing that people do. So, you know, we're here specifically right here, right now, on your screen because we enjoy this game. And when we offer this kind of, you know, constructive criticism or these comments, it's not because we want the game to fail. It's because we want the game to succeed.
Yeah. And I think of pretty much anybody in the whole Escape Pod Castaways. You and I want this game to succeed really well because this is right up our alley.
It is. I mean, look, like
you finished it.
I finished it like literally right before we went live. I finished it. I was putting the finishing touches on it.
Well, you know, and you know, once again, talking about this whole Ghostbusters thing.
I almost bought it. Did I tell you I almost bought it? I found it on like Facebook Marketplace, not too far from me. I almost asked Katie if I could get it, that exact set. But I mean, we love this game. We want it to succeed, and we just want to make sure that we move in the right direction. And you know, these developers don't bite off more than they can chew, or go down a path that, you know, they get into the quicksand so deep that they can't get out of.
Now it's not the developers.
Well, true.
Let's point out that this is not the developers of this game. It is the research and development division for pricing that is making these decisions.
You're right.
Guys,
I should not have said developers.
There's so much. You cannot price this like another game. Do not compare yourself to another game. If we are going to do any of the comparisons, there is a much longer character grind than in other games. Do not price them at the same price point in that way. Yep. The gear, while there may be... the drop rates are lower for the gear, but there's not as much to farm. But once again... because of that, don't price it the same as another game. You
gotta walk before you can run. Like, you have to walk before you can run.
And we're gonna be there walking with you.
We are, until we eventually get to a run. Like, we are going to be there. This is not us saying that, like, we're quitting the game or, you know, anything like that. Like, we are 100% in. Slimer.
Look down below.
I'm in.
There's Slimer right there.
We're in. It just you need to make sure you walk before you can run. Like, you don't have the player base, you don't have the, you know, the gear levels, the you know, any of that stuff to be trying to do this. You don't, like, because it's not worth it. And what did I say to you last week? I said $100 for a gear pack, when in the fall they're going to increase the gear pack. So I'm going to spend $100 to get my character to gear 6, and in 2.5 months it's going to be irrelevant.
Who knows? We may even get gear packs with space.
We might get gear packs, but they better not be $100.
No. I'm saying we might get the gear increase.
Oh yeah, we might get the gear increase with space. So like, I'm gonna spend $100 on gear for one character to, like, have it go up, and then that gear 6 is irrelevant because you've increased the gear level twice, like 2 times. So now we've got gear 8, and it doesn't matter. It just, like, you gotta walk before you can run.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk to somebody who loves this game just as much as us. We are going to talk to VintageX of the Brickdown right here on the Escape Pod Cast. Have you been interested in getting items 3D printed but haven't wanted to buy one of those expensive printers? Are you looking for a literally one-of-a-kind tech gift gadget?
Evil Genius 3D Printing and Gadgets is your one-stop shop for both of those items. Nerd-owned and Escape Pod approved, put Lenny the Evil Genius to work for you. If you can dream it, he could possibly make it. Contact Lenny at evilgenius3dprinting@gmail.com for more information. That's evilgenius3dprinting@gmail.com. Get something unique in your hands.
Hey there, Padawans. Lego Llama here. I interrupt this regularly scheduled break to give you a quick vocab lesson. First, I must let you know that Paul, the Zed, and the Llama are big AFFLs. That stands for Adult Fan of Lego, by the way. And we, along with Neil, are playing Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed. Not only are they playing it, but Neil and Paul have been releasing a Lego Legacy version of the Escape Pod cast every week on their YouTube channel. Visit the channel for more information. Neil knew it. He is surrounded by AFFLs. See you on the web.
All right, guys, and welcome back to the second segment of the Lego Legacy Heroes Unboxed edition of the Escape Pod cast. And as you see below, we are joined by VintageX. He is one part of the Brickdown podcast, which we stepped on a few Mondays ago. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good.
Never again.
So we wanted to bring you in because we heard. Well, first off, Llama, why don't you introduce this gentleman? I always do it. I know,
that's because you're so good at it. You're so good at it. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see if I can give this a try. So, ladies and gentlemen, VintageX, he is one of the big players in Minifigure Empire. Like Paul said, he is one half of the Brickdown podcast. Fantastic show. Go check them out. VintageX. I told you I'm terrible at this. Don't ever let me do it again.
And he also is a very, very... He is another gigantic AFFL.
Yes.
We love talking about how big of an AFFL we can be. So, all right, Vintage. Let's start out by asking you the standard interview questions of any content creator. Do you even play, bro?
No, I don't. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So I actually have two accounts. So I have my main account, which is I'm a leader of one of the guilds in Minifigure Empire. Seeing, just a little bit over 1 million total awesomeness on that one. Then my alt account is in Whizbang, and that one's sitting at, I want to say 750, 800.
I didn't know you had an alt in Whizbang.
Yep, it's a recent thing, but
I love Whizbang's. Obviously, I love Whizbang's recruitment poster because Benny wants us.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great. Those guys are great.
Yeah.
So, are you pay to play on one and free to play on the other, or are you double fisting?
Well, so one of them I actually got from somebody, and they had paid beforehand on it. So I have like Scarlet and Hank, and I have 2 of the Ghostbusters at 7 stars. I have all that stuff, but I'm not spending on that anymore. Like I didn't spend anything on it. I'm not going to. But on my main, I do spend. It's a little bit hard to spend at the moment just because of I didn't really agree with how they did the Ghostbusters, but I'm sure I'll probably be spending here when the space update comes about.
Let's what are your loves as far as this game?
I just love the silliness of it. I love the fun build animations, the just silly things that the characters do when you win a battle, just stuff like that. It's just enjoyable to see these Lego minifigures come to life and just have so much life and enjoyment with it.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that they did best about this game is they really nailed just like the fun goofiness like from these minifigures. So like anybody that's seen any of the like Lego movies, not like the Lego movie, but any of the Lego movies that they've done, Batman, Ninjago, any of that, like they're just goofy in the way they move and the way they interact with each other. And like, I think that they did a really good job playing on that.
For sure. And I'm not sure if you've like watched any of the Ninjago show or whatnot. After I started this game, I actually watched the entire series, just because I was very interested in it.
Yeah.
So I watched that entire series, and it's super cool how they actually took those characters, went through, found lore on them, and actually based things that they do off of that show.
Yeah.
I thought that was just something that was super cool. And now Ninjago is probably my favorite faction because of it.
That's cool.
And you have Jay's Cyber Dragon. It isn't visible on the. It isn't visible on this. Oh, he's gonna go get it.
Yeah, he's gonna go get it. Yeah. Well, he has to. It's so cool.
But he has Jay's Cyber Dragon back there, and he's also bringing another one. I do. One thing I want to do. Let's show off the Cyber Dragon for a second.
There's
cool.
Jay's Cyber Dragon.
Now, you have an interesting story on how you got that Jay's Cyber Dragon.
Yeah, so we're not doing one this month, but the Brickdown does do a monthly raffle kind of. It's a pay-for subscription, basically, and it's changing right now, so I can't say specifically details on it because, it's pending change, but this was one of the rewards for one of the one of the months. So I didn't actually win this one. I won the higher tier, but I traded somebody who won the lower tier for this because I really wanted this.
I would have as well. I totally would have as well. 1,000%.
So I have this one.
Let's and then you pulled out another one, and then we'll get to.
Sure did.
I do want to talk about. That that little thing that you have.
So this when I first started playing the game, I fell in love with this set. Building it was a super fun experience. This is probably my favorite Lego set I've ever built. But we have the Lego house.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Did you get that from a giveaway as well?
Nope, I completely purchased this one myself. The hard part about this set is it is exclusive to overseas, so what I did is I went and got the parts list. I parted the entire thing out and bought all of the parts individually and put it together. And then you also have your little inside courtyard to it.
You have the inside court. Oh my gosh, that's
awesome.
That is amazing. Yeah. Okay, and that actually perfectly segues into what I was going to say. Another thing about the Brickdown, about your show, is that you do it with somebody who has their own Bricklink store.
Yeah, so Bricksburg is a part seller on Bricklink, which is a secondhand Lego website, you can call it. It's more of a it's owned by Lego still, funnily enough, but it's basically for people to resell their Legos. So you'll see people on there selling sets, parts, minifigures, all sorts of things.
And so because of that's kind of how the set giveaway, support Bricksburg and the Brickdown, and in turn you could win a set from you guys, correct?
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm really excited to see kind of like what direction you guys take it in, because that I will definitely be participating.
So I guess I can speak on how I understand it is. It's all up to him completely because he is running it himself. But it sounds like what we're going to do is everybody who enters will get a minifigure of some sort. It might not necessarily be game related,
Right.
You'll get a minifigure of some sort, and then there'll be the grand prize, which will be a set or two, depending on kind of how the month is and what it looks like. But he's right now working on setting that up through his store, and we should have more news about that in the probably about 2 weeks at the start of September. So,
what we will do, if you want to send us his Bricklink URL, and we'll drop that in the the description of the video, because he does have a lot of minifigures on his Bricklink store that are in this game, right?
I think he only has a couple on there right now. I know the big ones he does have is he has Highwaymans and he has Scarlet. So if you're liking either of those.
I do want to say, if you guys do decide to send any minifigures out for space, I recommend Benny.
So
Paul doesn't need any, but
I love Vintage just send it to perfect. I'll post that in the chat right now. Yeah, that's auto modded from Discord.
I wasn't super sure, but yep, it's in the Discord for you.
Yeah, so I'm posting that now, and it will also be in the links down below on the YouTube version once I get that all set up. Mm-hmm. So what kind of explain to us, we're a different flavor than your show. What do you love about your show?
So I'd say one big difference between what you guys do here versus us is we do branch out from just the game. So we go and look at like Lego.com on what sets are coming up, if, hey, this set just came out of back order if you want to get this set. And then we're hoping to change up a couple more things, and we'll start doing maybe a couple set reviews and things like that. But we're still working out the kinks on that. But we do dive into Lego outside of the game. So
you go into the lore.
Yeah.
So you go into the lore and review actual product, not just the game.
Although I will say, if you guys are looking for a guest review on the NES set, mine delivers tomorrow.
Oh, that's a very cool set. I will say that. I don't know if you guys have saw the NES set or not, but I do highly recommend at least looking at it. It's such a cool set.
Did you by chance send one here too?
I did not. I'm sorry.
So close. I tried.
I'm sorry. It took a lot of begging on my end just to get the one. So.
Yeah, but just to go on the outside of Lego aspect. So like when we first started, there was this big trend of tensegrity Lego sets.
Oh yeah.
And what we actually did is Bricksburg, with being the part seller that he is, he actually parted out a bunch of those and put them together as kits and then sold the kits themselves. And that's stuff that we kind of did on stream. And I think I actually have it behind me. One second. I'll just grab my entire Lego set. 1 second.
Yeah, just bring all of them.
It's show and tell with Vintage. I love it.
No, it's great. I mean, that's what I did earlier. I was real quick to pull that Stormtrooper out and just be like,
I have my Ecto one up there that people have seen many times. People know about my my escape pod. Escape pod.
Yep.
I do have more, as you can see in the background. Like those top two shelves are entirely filled with stuff, but just grabbing down a couple of things, So these are the tensegrity sets. I think he still does have a couple available if anybody does want these, but they're super cool. They it's kind of hard to show holding it.
Yeah.
But it's breaking.
So basically what happens is the two pieces are connected by chains, and when you sit them up, it like holds.
Yeah, so basically it holds up like this, and it just basically looks like it's floating. It's super cool and unique, and I think he has a couple of these parted out completely and still on his store. I don't really
know is it all done by magnet?
No, there's no magnets or anything in that. I have saw versions with magnets. This one, however, is just chains.
But there have been some really, really cool ones. Like you can probably like Google like images. People have done like different themes where they'll do like, all kinds of different characters and vehicles. Yeah. So it like sits by itself.
Yeah.
And there's no magnet.
No.
No magnet at all. I
need to see this for myself.
Yeah, they're super cool, fun little things. And there's cool videos out there. Oh, excuse me. There's cool videos out there that just show a bunch of just fun, creative ones that people have made out in the community.
That's awesome.
Like I think I saw like a Back to the Future one where like, you like set it up and it was like a DeLorean on top. It was like crazy cool. Like people have gone like all out and like in creating like different themes and stuff. It's really neat.
Yeah.
What was your first Lego set?
I didn't grab that one. It's still up on the shelf.
Well, just tell us. Just tell us.
Still on the
Okay,
shelf.
so my very first one was a Star Wars set. It's the Vulture droid. So basically, it's just it's for those of you who don't play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Basically, it has it's a droid ship that in the Clone Wars show, I guess. It was one of the main ships that ended up getting used.
It was essentially the stormtrooper of the Separatist fleet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was your first Lego set ever.
I mean, I can't say if that was my first specifically,
but that's the first one you remember?
That's one of the first ones I remember. Yeah.
Okay, and. Was it because it was Star Wars, or was Lego a love at that point already?
Okay, so I loved Legos. However, I didn't actually have Legos until that point. It was all like knockoff stuff,
Right.
It fit together some of the times, but
No, I feel you on that. Yeah. We so like when our parents used to buy us like all kinds of like Lego sets or what we thought were Lego sets, and my mom was like, "I have a bunch of your Lego sets from when you were a kid. Like, do you want them or I'm gonna throw them away?" And I was like, "Yeah." So like I took an entire day and I went to my parents and I took them all apart and I realized they were all Mega Blocks.
yeah.
And I was like, "No."
Well, I'm sure we're not going to see Mega Bloks Legacy Heroes Unboxed anytime soon.
No, definitely not.
Probably not.
We will likely see a Duplo raid before that ever happens.
Yeah. Although I think that would be a hysterical like spin on a raid if they like played off once they get the Lego Movie IP. Like if they brought like did like a Duplo raid like at the end of the movie. Hysterical.
As long, please, as long as they don't have Princess Whatever I Want to Be.
Yeah.
Please no, that was a terrible character.
Yeah, that one was a little rough. But so tell us about the new project that you individually are working on that I am specifically super hype about.
Yeah, so recently I've started building a mock of Pip Town, which for those who aren't familiar with what mock stands for, it's called My Original Content or
My Original Creation.
Creation, yeah, okay, yeah. But something along those lines, and it's not technically my original thing, but what I'm doing is I'm taking what's in the game and putting it to real pieces and making sure that it's as close to as possible, at least, to what's in game.
Now, this has technically already been done up in Canada with our friends at Gameloft. They actually have a Lego setup, but you got special access, and we're tell us how you created the Guild Events board.
Okay, so I've been talking kind of back and forth with Abbo a little bit, trying to see if I could get like images and stuff like that, either from the game or in real life of it, so it's could get a better idea. He managed to get me an entire picture of Pip Town without any of the words on it. So I've been using that as one of my big things that I use to check to see if it looks what it's supposed to in the game. That's what I'm using. However, a while ago when this game first came about, they had a video where they went and had a bunch of like Lego content creators come in, and in that video you see bits and pieces of their build of it. And right now I've been using pictures of that to kind of see how did they do it in real life, to see kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, we call the Lego content creators master builders.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean it's super cool, right? So you finish the first board. It looks super awesome. Like I think it's like totally cool. And what are you moving on to next?
So I am finished with the campaign board technically, but what I'm doing next is I was supposed to do it yesterday. I just got a little bit busy, so I'm doing it tomorrow. But I'm going to be fully parting out the campaign board, making the build instructions for it, and then I'll be moving on to the events board.
Yeah, which you will promptly after your stream be sending directly to me so I can get the parts and start building, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, it seems like it's roughly about $20 for the campaign board. And something that I did find interesting from talking to Abo is all of those prints that you see on all of the different halls and whatnot, those are actually all custom printed pieces. Mm-hmm. So that is one hoop you kind of have to go through if you want to make this yourself. But
so the guild hall, the little cups clanging together is not is not available in any other set.
Nope, that's never was an officially printed piece. Just like that map, there's maps out there, yes, but none of them are that map for the like campaign board.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, you had sent me a picture of your campaign board, which was awesome. The big one that I want to know how to make is going to be the shop. I would love for the shop to sit right there.
Yeah, so I actually did a poll through our Discord about which one I'm gonna do when. So the next one I'm gonna do is the events board. I'm just doing campaign and event board first to kind of get used to Studio, which it's technically stud.io,
right?
People just call it Studio. So I'm doing those two first to get used to it. But then after that, I'm going to first be doing the arena building. That was the most voted for one. The guild hall.
So drab.
Yeah, the guild hall and the store both are tied right now.
Well, put me down for one for the store.
Okay, so when we get to those, if one of those are passed, I'll do that one first. Then it looks like the challenge building and then the set neighborhood board will be the last thing.
Yeah, the set neighborhood, I mean, it's just pretty much an arch with a sign on top.
Yeah, it's pretty boring, but, got to get it done to have the complete set.
You do. And also, of course, the Ecto 1 parked on the left-hand side for Ghostbusters. Yeah. Are you going to, here's another question, anytime that they change up the thing, are you going to create a new piece to change out? Because that events board is not the same events board as it normally is.
So I have no idea about the current events board, but the old events board is actually already an existing thing. What that was taken from is there's a DigiJ arcade box, I think is what it's called. It's like a $10 thing. You get DigiJ, you get all of his weapons and accessories and stuff, but then you also get this little arcade machine. And that's what it's based off of. So that's what the DigiJ
that's like in stores now, right?
Yeah.
That's in stores now, right?
Yep,
yeah.
And it's only like a $10 set too, so.
By the way, for any of our viewers, if anybody has, we do things normally for Patreons during the SWGOH streams, but we do it for free during the LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed streams. If anybody has any questions for Llama and I, and we'll include Vintage, we'll include him in this. If anybody has any off-the-wall questions or direct questions, present them now, because we are going to start wrapping up here in just a moment. So are you, when you finish these in your project that you're doing, are you going to be giving it out for free? The studio stuff?
Yeah, so right now I have went and I've taken all of the minifigures in the game, all of the sets in the game, and I've put them onto a price guide, which can be even found in the official LEGO Legacy Discord. So there's all of that stuff parted out with all the accessories. I'm going to end up adding it onto that, and that will be still free for everybody, so everybody can go through and get it off of there and build Piptown if they like.
Awesome. And I'm looking forward to that, because I definitely do want to build that store. I'm looking forward to seeing what I'll need to talk to Bricksbird about for his for his store. One thing we do want to do with you before we let you go, and then we'll have you tell people how to find you. Let's do a little bit of a round table. I'll start. I'll pass to Llama and then to you and then pass back to me. Let's start at number 3. Who are your top 3 minifigs currently in this game? So for me, my number 3, I'm going to have to go with Hiker. Hiker is the initial character you get, and he quickly becomes your first love. Llama, what about you?
My number 3 would be Redbeard. Again, something that everybody has access to, and I think that his animations are really cool, and I like the way that his kit works.
All right, number 3 for you.
All right, number 3 for me is Cook Bart.
There he is.
He's I don't think, I mean, he's a good character, but one of my biggest reasons I like him is because I just think he's the coolest designed minifigure in the game. He has such a cool, unique kind of look to him. And I think that's why I'm going to give him number 3.
All right. Number 2 for me is going to go, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, and it's not, and once again, I'm talking about minifigures, I'm not talking about their abilities, okay?
Okay.
But Dr. Kelvin.
Oh my goodness. How did I know it was going to be Kelvin? How did I know it was going to be Kelvin?
Because honestly, with Dr. Kelvin, you have a space helmet and ski boots. Come on. It's just a great designed minifigure. Number 2 for you, Llama.
Number 2 for me would be Mr. Locust. I think that just the way that his figure is designed is really cool. He's also like really great in the game. I wouldn't say really great, but he's a fairly good character in the game. So I'm enjoying, I'm looking forward to leveling him up and using him.
He's also a little snarky.
Yes, he's hysterical.
All right, Vintage.
All right, so I think my second favorite, I just really love this guy here.
Of course he has them all.
Basil the Batlord.
Basil the Batlord.
Hey, why didn't you bring up a Kelvin for me? Come on.
So I actually don't have Kelvin.
Okay, all right, so that's why.
We got Redbeard here.
Okay, there we go.
I don't have Locust either. I would say, I guess the closest thing I have is I have Commander Cold. That's the closest thing to Kelvin I have.
Okay, there we go.
I also have the skis. I just don't have Kelvin yet. She's next on my buy list, though.
Okay.
But I really like Basil. He's just kind of like that edgy sorcerer kind of dude, and I just love the look of him, his staff, and his shield. It's great.
So,
also, super nice keep.
I am going to admit that I used to play a game called Korheim, which was based on Mordheim, which is a tabletop miniature game. Nice, there's this dragon.
Yep, there's this dragon.
It's a tabletop miniature game where you use the ruler and you roll 6-sided dice to see if you hit and all that stuff. And I used to always go and buy minifigure polybags just because I could get fantasy characters. So I do have a few. I do have a few Basils. I have a few Meridas. Because female archers and beefy knights with bats on their staves, that just made the medieval feel to it. So I admit that I have a few of those because, and the fun thing was, guys, get this. The minifigures were the same size, at pretty much the same scale as actual Mordheim pewter figures. So
nice.
It just made sense.
Yeah, there you go. What's
number
your number
one?
one?
Please tell me you have this one, Vintage. Spaceman Reed.
Spaceman
There
Reed.
Thank you. Thank you. Benny, look, it's your brother.
It's your brother. So my number 1 is actually Basil. I think that his animations in game are just fantastic. I love, when you get to break them apart and then he comes back together again. I think it's awesome.
All right, and number one for you.
All right, I have to give an honorable mention first to Bricko. He's in the chat. We got Bricko.
Honorable mention. There's Bricko. That's actually Bricko.
That's
Surprise.
actually Bricko, right?
That's actually Bricko. He records all of his videos from Vintage's shelf.
Yeah, I've held him captive. No. But my favorite one, I think, I have to give it a tie between two. For in-game, like being in-game, my favorite has to be Master Wu. I think I really like Master Wu. He's such a good character, and I had such a wild ride to get him. So I have to give him at least part of it. But I think the coolest one, in my opinion, I really like the look of Highwayman.
Yeah.
Highwayman is great.
All right, I'm going to really quick give an honorable mention to Bricko as well. And if you notice there, he's got a little bit of shine behind him.
Yeah,
that is
does.
a 7-star Dwayne. So there you are, Bricko.
So speaking of Bricko, he is asking who we are all farming. So
Yeah.
Vintage, why don't you go first? Who are you farming right now?
I'm farming a lot right now because I'm really looking forward to the space update. So I'm farming Locust, Dwayne, and Kelvin from Monolith Waste. Then whatever extra, I'm just getting either tier 2 set mats or tier 3 elixirs. Otherwise, I'm finishing up my Aurora. She's almost 7-star. Then I'm also working on Barnabas for Primo when he comes around. And then my other farm is Highwayman, just because such a solid character.
Yeah.
Paul?
For me, it is Highwayman and Kelvin. Those are the two. There's the hard farm and the monolith farm. I'm also farming the spaceship out of monolith as well. So there's my refresh on Kelvin twice a day or once a day, and full farm on the spaceship. So and then Highwayman is my hard, and then gear is my other stuff. That's honestly mine. What about you, Llama?
Yeah, I'm going all in on space. So you've got 1, 2, 3 going all in on space. So that tells you something, guys. It's coming. Locust. Kelvin,
I've been doing space since the beginning. I don't know about you guys.
You've been going for a while, and you're still not done yet.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me. Oh, I can't find my wallet.
Oh yeah, right. So Kelvin, Locust, and Blacktron from Monolith. And then I'll throw some energy at the spaceship if I have extra or tier 3 ability materials. And then Dr. Cold, super hard on the hard nodes. His farm is awful. And if I have leftover, Barnabas.
All right. Well, Vintage, how do people find you?
So, I mean, I'm always on Discord. You can see me anywhere on Discord. I'm always chatting both in the official server and the Minifigure Empire server. That's the easiest way to find me. But on YouTube, it is the Brickdown, and we stream every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So the same time as this starts, roughly. But we do that every Monday, and then hopefully it's every Wednesday is when I do the Building Piptown series. However, this week I just had some stuff come out, so I'm doing that tomorrow. So if anybody's interested in that, that'll be tomorrow, probably around 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right.
So it'll help you get through your afternoon at work.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, Vintage, thank you very much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this episode of the LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed edition of the Escape Podcast. Any parting words, Llama?
No, just thank you guys for watching, and continue to be AFLs.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by AFLs.
You are.
All right, guys. That'll do it for us. Be nice to each other, damn it. Please wear a mask. Think of the people that are not yourselves. And we'll see you next time Give me the command.
Wait, you get to command? I always get to push the button.
Oh, that's right. I tell you to do that. Llama,
my
push
job.
the button.
You do the intros, I push the button. That's the way it's supposed to work.
All right. Push the button.
Zoop. Peace, peace.